Time we are looking at a baseball that's hit in the air. Its path is modeled by this equation. Is this going to be a parabola? Okay, so think of a baseball being hit in the air. H is the height of the ball, and D is the horizontal distance that the ball traveled. Same type of question. What's the vertex? Good. HK. Vertex is located at positive 4 and 33. What does that mean in this question? The highest point that the baseball reaches is maximum height of the ball? 33 meters. That's how high it's going to go. And how long did it travel when it reached that height? 4 meters away from the person swinging it, right? So how far along? Oh, we just answered that. Yeah. How far along was the ball when it reached the maximum height? I just said that. How far along did it travel? Away from the person? 4 meters. Now we want to know what's the height of the ball if it's traveled a horizontal distance of 6 meters. Okay, this is easy because, again, what am I solving for? Height or distance? What are they asking you to find? The height of the ball. If distance, if D is 6, what am I going to do with that information? Plug it into the equation. So I'm plugging in 6 where we have D, and we just rewrite the rest of the equation. Okay, and we're solving for H. Again, BEDMAS. What comes first? Bracket. So I have my -2 outside the bracket. 6 take away 4. 2 squared, good, plus 33. Now what? Am I going to do -2 times 2? No, I have to do my exponents. So I still have this -2. A lot of people mess this up sometimes. 2 squared is 4, good, plus 33. Multiplication. -2 times positive 4. -8 plus 33. What's -8 plus 33? 25 meters. So after the ball traveled a horizontal distance, and it makes sense, look here. Let's say the path of the ball goes like this. After it travels 6 meters, well, obviously it's going to be lower than 33, right? It was somewhere at 25. This example, we're looking at a golf ball that's being hit from the top of a cliff, and it falls to the green at the bottom of the valley. This is the equation that models the golf ball's path. Again, H is the height, but this time we're looking at time. So after how long, okay? So we're looking at time and height of the ball. It's hit from a cliff, so it's hit somewhere up here, and it travels down to the ground, right? What's the maximum height of the golf ball? 60 meters. How do you know that? The maximum height is located at 60 meters. How long, because we're looking at time, right? Time in seconds. How long did it take for the golf ball to reach that height? After how many seconds? Positive, right? Time, 5 seconds. Okay, now we want to know, similar to what we just did, what's the height? So we're solving for H. If it has been traveling for 3 seconds, where am I going to plug in that 3? For T, good. So using the equation H equals -5, instead of T, I'm going to write 3. 3 minus 5 squared plus 60. You guys solve this one on your own and tell me what the height is. Height is 40 meters. So after 3 seconds, the ball traveled 40 meters. It still hadn't reached its maximum height yet, right? It reached its maximum height at 5 seconds. So at 3 seconds, it was somewhere around here. It was below the maximum height. What about after 7 seconds? Same thing. Plug in 7 for T and solve for the height. Good. After 7 seconds, it's also at 40 meters. What did you notice about your answers for C and D? Why do you think they're the same? I want you to think of... If the ball is hit at 3 seconds, it reaches a height of 40 meters around here. When it is hit after 7 seconds, it reaches a height of the same height. Parabolas are symmetrical. What goes up must come down, right? There's 2 points on every parabola that will have the same y value. They'll have the same height. Okay, what's the height of the cliff? Well, we know where the vertex is located. The golf ball was hit on a cliff, right? Someone was standing here and they swung it. We need to know what the height of the cliff is. Had the golf ball traveled any distance yet when it was hit? So what's the time? After 0 seconds, right? That's going to be the height of the cliff. Before time passes, that's your starting point. So we need to know what the height is if time is 0. If time doesn't pass, that's your starting point. Before you swing, the ball hasn't moved, right? So where does it start? So if t is equal to 0, so using the same equation, which was negative 5 t minus 5 squared plus 60. No, it didn't. It didn't start at 60. 60 was the highest point it got to, but it started here. It started when time was 0. So we're going to plug in t. We're going to plug in 0 for t. Okay, does that make sense? Before time passes, that's where you start. Okay, so bed mass again. 0 minus 5. Negative 5. Okay, and then we have our exponents. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25 plus 60. What is negative 5 times positive 25? Negative 125. What's negative 125 plus 60? Negative 65. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so obviously this answer doesn't make sense because you wouldn't. Negative means you're under the ground, right? So if we change this to 160, make this 160, okay? Which means I'm just changing the equation. What's negative 125 plus 160? Positive 35. Obviously the height has to be positive if he's on a cliff, right? So what's the height of the cliff if I change the equation? 35 meters from the ground.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.